Hi everybody, 860 Cologne here with another video. This time I'm going to be looking at a few fragrances that might be off the beaten path for most of us. These are mainly going to be fragrances you will find at a cosmetic counter in a major department store in the mall. These are probably fragrances or even counters that we're only dragged to sometimes, and we might not know about. You might not know about some of these fragrances, but there are some good ones out there. So, first off, we're going to stop off at the M.A.C counter, and we're going to look at Turquotic. Now, Turquotic is a really nice fragrance, listed as a fresh, aquatic, floral. It is unisex, but I think a guy can get away with it just as well as a girl. Great fragrance for summer, but you can also wear it, throughout the season as long as it lasts on your skin. The notes are Amalfi lemon, water notes, lotus, anemone, ooh, that's a new one for me, Virginia cedar, and orris root. Now, orris root is the same ingredient along with iris. It's similar to iris. It's the root of the iris plant that is processed. So it has a very distinctive odor to it. Now, Fragrantica lists it as coming out in 2011. I think that was the re-release, because I do remember this being taken off of M.A.C shelves for a little bit, and then it came back in 2011. I have a bottle that is the newer version, and it is just fine. Now, the sillage, and projection are okay. Some people say it has great projection and decent longevity. So it's not going to be a really strong fragrance, but it's going to be a very, very nice one. On Fragrantica, it gets 4.3 out of 5 out of 157 votes. So be sure to check that one out. Next up is going to be Clinique Chemistry. And this is admittedly not going to be a hugely popular fragrance, because it will be more towards the old school person, the classic 70s, 80s cologne. Not quite as strong, but in that same vein. It's listed as a fresh spicy with aromatic qualities, and the notes of this one are on the top, lavender, mint, neroli, and lemon. The middle, we have cyclamen, coriander, ginger, and pepper. And then the base notes are sandalwood, musk, oak moss, cedar, and amber. So it has some depth to it. This one I picked up, it's pretty cheap. I think it's around $45 now for a 3.4 ounce bottle. I like the old school aromatic vibe to it. And it's not one that I wear a lot, but it is one that if you're shopping for someone in their late 40s and up, it might be one to look at, and it's not that expensive. And also, if you can get this sometimes when Clinique is having their bonus time, you get a little gift for you as well, unless you want to give the guy the makeup as well. This one did not do so hotly for the ratings. This one receives a 3.46 out of 5 based on 77 ratings at Fragrantica. Next, we're going to go to a slightly newer fragrance from Clinique. Chemistry was introduced in 1994. This one was 1999, and this is Happy. Much more popular, very popular fragrance in the early 2000s. Very classy, fresh, citrusy fragrance. This one, top notes are lime, green notes, mandarin orange, lemon, and sea notes. Middle notes are freesia, jasmine, lily of the valley, and rose. Base notes are cypress, musk, guaiac wood, and cedar. This one does much, much better on the rating scale on Fragrantica. This one, very popular. I will say, to me, it doesn't have the same impact as it did back when it was first introduced. I've shown this to a few customers, and honestly, I could barely smell it on the card. So this is going to be a light fragrance. It gets 4.2 out of 5 based on 972 ratings on Fragrantica. So it is well known and much talked about. But the problems are going to be with the longevity and the sillage, the projection, the trail. Basically, on Fragrantica, they're saying that it is a moderate, long-lasting fragrance. And the sillage is also moderate to weak. But it is a pleasant scent, also good for summer as well. Next, we're going to move over to the Estee Lauder counter, and we're going to look at Intuition for men. Intuition is a ambery balsamic fragrance, light balsamic, and it's considered a natural oriental, although on the light side, but very pleasing. The top notes are daffodil, fresh cucumber, walnut, and cardamom. The heart includes warmth of wood and earth, and the base contains sensual amber. This was created in 2003. It is a crowd pleaser. It does well if you are wanting to go from a lighter fragrance into more of a deeper, but not going too far. Like if someone had crisp, clean, fresh fragrances and they wanted something a little bit more deep for winter, this might be a good place to go as well. This one receives some decent ratings. This one is 4.15 out of 5 based on 129 ratings on Fragrantica. Now to the more popular fragrance for men from Estee Lauder. This is Estee Lauder's Pleasures for Men. This is classified as a fresh, spicy fragrance, and it is by perfumer Pierre Warny. I probably butchered that name because that's a really hard one for me to try to figure out. Top notes are nectarine, green notes, grapefruit, and water notes. Middle notes are coriander, ginger, lavender, pepper, rose, geranium, and pimento. The base notes are sandalwood, benzoin, oak moss, and ebony tree. This one falls into the clean, crisp, fresh realm of things, and it's light, but it does have some nice depth to it. The pepper, pimento, and rose really make this one a little bit unique. Great fragrance for work or something that's not going to impose on others. But it's a nice fragrance to have on your skin. Surprisingly to me, it doesn't do too well with the ratings. It only got a 3.88 out of 5 based on 295 ratings. I thought this one would fare better than that. I think it's worth a sniff, especially if you like the light, fresh, crisp fragrances. Another one that's going to be off the beaten path from Estee Lauder is one that guys might not smell, but I would encourage you to do so because this is actually made for a woman. This is Bronze Goddess. It's been released different times, but they all basically smell the same. This actually was based on the Agere Soleil from 2007 for Estee Lauder, and it is made for women, but it's basically a beach in a bottle. Honestly, this one, it reminds me almost exactly of the Coppertone tanning oils and products, tanning products from the 80s. It just takes me right back there. It's so fresh and summery with the coconut and all those interesting flavors and fragrances, not flavors, that came with the Coppertone tanning oils. The top notes are mandarin and bergamot. The heart has magnolia, orange blossom, tiara flower, jasmine, myrrh, and the base has coconut, caramel, sandalwood, amber, and vetiver. The nose behind this one, and I believe Agere Soleil, was Rodrigo Flores Roux. This one does pretty well. It will suffer a little bit from longevity and projection, but I don't mind putting this one on a few times throughout the day because it is so nice, and like I said, takes me back to the 80s with a Coppertone vibe to it. It's a comfort scent for me. This one receives 4.24 out of 5 ratings based on 388 ratings. So it's made for women, but I'm telling you guys, check this one out. Next up is one of my favorites. This is Eau Dynamisante by Clarins. This is a wonderful fragrance. If you've ever gone to the Clarins counter, or your girlfriend has gone there, and she's gotten some sort of treatment, either makeup or anything like that, you've probably smelled this because the Clarins associates are told to spray their hands with eau dynamisante before they approach the customer. Very clean, fresh, aromatic fragrance that also is supposed to have some sort of benefits for the skin. Not only a fragrance, but also good for the skin. And also, it's purported to be good for things like jet lag. Supposed to spray this and be refreshed. I'm not sure about that, but it is a pick-me-up, I will say this. This was released in 1987. The nose behind it is Jacques Courtin Clarins. Top notes are orange, coriander, caraway, Amalfi lemon, and petitgrain. Middle notes are rosemary, carnation, cardamom, and thyme. And the base note is patchouli. This, if you haven't smelled this yet, this is a wonderful fragrance. Like I said before, a pick-me-up fragrance. Does very, very well. The longevity is average. Projection is probably on the low side, but it will run you around $45, $50 for a 3.4 ounce bottle, and this bottle is refillable, but it's a nice one to have. Gets 3.9 out of 5 stars based on 486 ratings on Fragrantica. Check this one out. You might like it.
Alright, well I hope you venture off to the cosmetic counters and try some of these fragrances. They are really very decent fragrances. Admittedly, they're going to be on the lighter side, and maybe not for a person who likes to have really heavy fragrance that has a lot of projection and incredible performance, but they might work great for that person in the summer for a nice light scent. But for the average user, I think they'll do well, and might be something that you may not have tried for gifts for someone else, or even for yourself. Alright, hope you enjoyed. Thanks a lot. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.